Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. My name is Dustin. This is Sunday Coffee with me. Super excited to have you here. I have my gigantic heavy coffee. How are you? I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. Let's go. All right. Christian Delorme is in the house. Good morning, my friend. Bonjour, bonjour. Evelyn is here. I love you, Evelyn. United Carnivores here all the way from Tampa Bay. Uncle Big Guy's here from Kansas. If you're in Florida, here we go again. Get ready for Milton. I was in a band, and it was basically the band that I joined up was basically this band that were called Milton. Funny, just a fun random fact that has no bearing on today's stream whatsoever. There we go. Do I like that better? I think so. I think so. Jeff Foltz is in the house. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jeff. Danny Beach is in the house. Brian Doyle. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Jennifer Lucas. Sunday morning coffee with my wife and all of these Utes. John Gugahan is in the house. Good morning, sir. Carl's in the house. Good morning, Carl. Sherry says, morning, everyone. Here I come in my footy pajamas. So excited for KPL 24. Oh, and mash the like button, please. And thank you. I have a blankie. You can't see it. It's under the wheels. I have a blankie. It's chilly. It's like 50-some degrees, and we haven't turned our heat on yet. We won't until it gets so cold that, until Chandler falls out of a tree. I'm just not liking this camera today. Maybe I think that's better. All right. Evelyn saying hello to everyone in the chat. All right. Woo! So the countdown is on. KPL 24. I will be in town Thursday afternoon sometime. If you're coming in early, let me know. We'll meet up. We'll hang out. I plan to get in town, get everything in the hotel room, chill for a few, and then start hanging out with all you lovely people who are coming in early. Because once Friday begins, it'll be like, done. Trust me. I've been there. I've done those things. I have a dentist appointment on Tuesday. Just a cleaning, and then hanging out with Chaw on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Super excited for all of that. Oh, Jennifer's asking, what time is check-in? Allegedly, it's like usually 3 or 4 o'clock. But I know we got in town Friday last year, and they let us check in at like 11 or 12. So, I don't know. Danny's going to be there Thursday night. All right. Evelyn says, I can't believe it's this week. You better believe it. You better. What time? I'm coming in around check-in time. I'll get up in the morning and get the girl to school, get her off, and hang out with Shander for a little bit, and then drive down. It's a 2-hour drive for me. I'm not in any hurry to get down there. I do want to get down in time enough to get relaxed before we head over to the Brazilian Steakhouse Thursday evening. So there's that. Thursday evening, we're going to the Brazilian Steakhouse. Oh. Let's see. Charlie's in the house. Yeah, so I spent the evening at the ER yesterday with our oldest boy because he had chest pains. And so he went to the ER. Basically, it's just going to the gym. He has like inflammation in the cartilage in his chest. So, he's okay. Irritating, but okay, because we told him at like 10 o'clock in the morning to go get seen, and he did not. And he lied to us about going to a med check. And then I go and meet him up at a hospital across town. So, yeah. I do plan on filming content at KPL. I do hope that I have people who will want to sit down or stand with me or whatever. I'm going to bring a tripod and get my camera set up. I've got wireless mics, so 2 people, me and someone else, can talk and have a good time. And maybe, 5-10 minutes, wherever we can find time. Nothing super invasive, just kind of, hey, I'm here. What's going on? What's your why? Where are you now? What are you looking forward to? What is 2025 going to bring for you? That type of stuff. We'll see how that goes, right? We'll see how it goes. Fall break this week. I'll have the little to make sure I don't forget to pack stuff. Our fall break starts when I get back from KPL. We have a 2-week fall break. So when I get back from KPL, we have 2 weeks of no school for the little one. So we'll have her every day. I'm super glad that you're here, Charlie. Yes. I love coffee. If you haven't noticed, maybe you're living under a rock, maybe you don't know, maybe you don't watch my content, but I dropped a little video this week talking about Element and how they had put up an article that outlined how much maltodextrin is actually in each packet. I had made a video a couple of months ago outlining that they had provided information to not only me, but other creators not only me, but other creators as well, that there is only 4 milligrams of maltodextrin in the natural flavors in each packet of Element. So that was about 1 teaspoon across about 1,000 packets. And then I received a message, a comment on that video saying, well, that's not what their website says now. Their website now says between 250 and 550 milligrams of maltodextrin. That's a significant change because that puts 1 teaspoon of maltodextrin from 1,000 packets in somewhere between 10 and 20 packets. That is ridiculously, it's a huge difference. It's still less than 1 gram per packet. So chances of there being a significant impact to the population at large is still small. But I've had feedback on the new video that that people with CGMs who are type 1 have been recording, spikes in their glucose. So definitely something to consider. And I didn't make the video for people to stop using the product or to shame or whatever the product, merely just to provide information to you all that there has been that change. While, yes, the transparency is there, they did put the information on their website. I didn't hear anything outside of that person leaving me a comment. I would not have known they had changed it. I've not heard anyone who was sponsored by Element making any information known about it. I imagine they cannot. They're probably not contractually obligated to not make a video about that. But I digress. Yeah. I think it's just one of those things where he was texting with Shander, who was at work yesterday, and she calls me about 10, and I reach out to him, and I'm like, hey, bud, you're going to go get checked out? Well, they were shopping for cars because his girlfriend a couple of weeks ago before we went on vacation, had been in a car accident. She was hit by a drunk driver, and airbags went off, hurt her nose. She got the airbag powder in her eyes and wasn't able to see very well. So like the trip down or the trip up to vacation, he's helping her walk through gas stations and such because she can't see so well. And so now, the car's been paid off, totaled, and now the hunt begins for a new car. And so they were doing that yesterday. And, he's in pain and discomfort and not wanting to go to the doctor. And then even when we got to the ER, he didn't take the pain medication that they were offering. I don't know what they were offering him. I imagine maybe at least ibuprofen of some flavor, but he's just so weird about it. He wouldn't take any of it. I'm like, if you're in pain, take something for it, especially something like an ibuprofen that's an anti-inflammatory. I mean, he's not a person that takes medicine. Little known fact, when he was much younger, he had a fever and wasn't feeling well, and Shander was fighting with him to take ibuprofen to help bring his fever down. And she finally got him he was like, I can't swallow pills. Oh, and finally got him to take it. And he called the police on her. And the cop gets there and goes, if she hasn't beaten you, broken into your bones, she's your caregiver. She's your, basically she's the end all be all of this house. She's and a nurse, and she's trying to get your fever reduced, and she's trying to have you take these pills. You're a kid. You need to listen to her, and don't make me come out here again. So, yeah. He's kind of a butthead. Should I bring my little Keurig coffee pot for the room? There's a coffee pot in the room. I just can't remember. I don't think it's a Keurig. I mean, I can't remember. If it's small and you're driving, then I wouldn't see a problem with bringing it. So John's asking, did Element add more maltodextrin, or were they mistaken about the 4 grams? I think, as I reached out to Rob Wolf, who's one of the co-founders of Element, we follow each other on Twitter, so I reached out to him in a direct message, and I was providing this information because the article that I found said, from the desk of Rob Wolf. I'll actually pull it up here. Let me go ahead and search this real quick, and I'll pull it up for everybody to see. It's one of my search terms. All right. So what this says here is, it says, what's the deal with natural flavors? And this goes in and talks about natural flavors like lemon, citrus flavor derived from lemon peels, amyl acetate, banana flavor derived from bananas, benzaldehyde, nutty flavor derived from almonds, citral, tangy flavor derived from citrus fruits, anise essential oil, licorice flavor derived from anise seeds, anise seeds, however you want to pronounce that. Natural flavors versus artificial flavors. Now, again, up here, this says from the desk of Rob Wolf right here. And this is Rob Wolf in the picture, and I'm guessing that's him too. So we get down here to production of natural flavors. Then what about maltodextrin? It says after extraction, natural flavors sometimes need to be given a new form factor. Say, for example, you're making a powdered electrolyte drink mix, but are using an essential oil as part of the flavoring. This may include a pinch of maltodextrin. Pinch, they say. Pinch, they say. This may include a pinch of maltodextrin as a flavor carrier. I mean that they literally spray the natural flavor liquid onto maltodextrin or powder to absorb and carry those flavors. Then you can blend your flavor in with your other ingredients. Our team receives questions about maltodextrin each month because our flavored drink mix option used it as a flavor carrier. To get straight to the point, flavored element drink mix contains a small amount, 250 to 550 milligrams of maltodextrin. That right there, that line is what turned into the video. Because you're going to tell me in the beginning that there was 4 milligrams, and then you're going to put on a website 250 to 550 milligrams of maltodextrin is insane. It makes those of us who have been telling people this sound like liars. And I know that's not the intent, I hope. But anyway, I reached out to Rob Wolf about this, and I said, is this some kind of mistake? And he goes, well, the 4 milligrams is what our suppliers had told us, but we were planning and probably have now done a third-party test on the supplies that they provide. And I imagine he did not necessarily confirm this, but this must be the results of that third-party test. So I made the video. I've made it public. I've tagged Element in it a few times on Twitter and on Instagram stories and such. So I imagine somewhere some person is aware that this video was out there. The video last checked at 1,800 views, which over the last 4 days or so has been one of my highest performing videos in that time frame. I mean, I have videos with much more views that are long form, but that's over a year or better. So over the course of 4 days and 1,800 views is one of my top performing videos as a creator in that time frame. So just a little bit more. Maltodextrin is used in Element, is derived from corn. It's GMO free. It's gluten free, hypoallergenic for those with dietary restrictions. Maltodextrin is not listed on Element's label because it's minuscule amount. That's not necessarily true. It's not listed on the ingredients or the label because it falls under the natural flavors, which is a proprietary formula, and they don't have to disclose what's in it. I'm actually working on a video now for this week before I head out to Keto Palooza that talks about natural flavors, all the things that can be combined into natural flavors, kind of what they are, what they mean, why they're there, that type of stuff. So it's not necessarily a hit piece on natural flavors, more of an education because we're all here. We're all adults. We can all read the information as we're provided, the best information we can find, and make judgment calls for ourselves. And that's what I said about Element, is the fact that, yes, there is this amount of maltodextrin, but there's a good amount of people out there who don't care. It's not a concern for them. I imagine most people that are concerned by the amount of maltodextrin are those of us in our niche, those of us in our community, those of us who have kind of whittled their way through the minutia of a dietary change and have started to look for things that are impacting them on the micro level instead of just the macro level. So, yeah. Sean says, good morning all, stuck at work this Sunday. Well, that's rude of them. I hope you're not having a bad day, my friend. Diane says, good morning. Looking forward to seeing everyone in Louisville. 100%. I'm excited. Cindy DeManch here. Good morning, my lady. Anyway, you had a live last night. I tried to say hello in it, but we were, it was a Saturday. Yeah, it was yesterday. And I had to go to the ER with the boy. I talked about it earlier today. Yeah. Diane says, good morning. Looking forward to seeing everyone at Louisville. I think I just said that. No, maybe. It's a duplicate. Okay. How is everyone today? I'm doing all right. So, it goes into, this article goes into the safety of natural flavors, frequently asked questions about natural flavors. Why does Element use natural flavors? What natural flavors do they use? Do natural flavors contain GMOs? There's a lot of these things in here. So this is where that information is. I don't know how to find it from their website. I only know how to find it searching Google, clicking onto this from their website. So that information is what I found. My video is live. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, please go over and watch it. It's only about 7 minutes long. I'd appreciate the view, the watch time, all that stuff. So I appreciate all of you. He's doing okay. I mean, there was no cardiac signs, nothing like that. No kidney stones. There was no something. There was an issue that Shanda was worried about something in the lung that happens with teenage boys who go to the gym. He's not really a teenager anymore, but you get the idea. Basically, they just figure that some kind of something with the cartilage and inflammation and stuff like that. So hopefully he's good. They didn't find anything. Yeah, Evelyn, really enjoyed you and Carl's story yesterday. I got a chance to watch just a little bit of it. Hungry Heath in the house. Hey, yo, running late because I had to run to HEB. Woo! HEB in the house. Diane says, watch it this morning. Thank you for the update. You're very, very welcome. I hadn't seen anyone talking about it. So I was like, okay, this will be, an opportunity to put my spin on it. You know what I mean? Like put my opinions out there. And like I said, I don't make these videos to tell you to not use Element. I had people tell me, well, thank you. I'm canceling my subscription to Element. But I'm like, well, I appreciate, you letting me know, but that's not why I make, you know what I mean? If you found that to be, something that's unacceptable for you, sure. I have Element in the house. I'll probably still use what I have left. I mean, I have not a whole lot, but, I don't think I'll ever buy anymore unless they fix it, Yeah, Carl says, I'm glad he is willing to disclose what their natural flavors are. Yeah, the law doesn't, that's the weird thing about natural flavors and what the law does and doesn't require. They only have to disclose, the only thing that natural flavors has to disclose, from my understanding and my little bit of research that I've done thus far, is if there's any allergen warnings, if there's any nuts or soy or anything like that. But outside of that, there's not a whole lot that the law requires of natural flavors. And it really does become kind of a smokescreen to throw whatever they want in there. So I've got a big list of stuff to talk about. Hopefully I can make the video concise and not boring where people click off. So, wish me luck. Matt Franklin in the house. Good morning, my friend. All right, let's see. Cindy says, Evelyn, please send me the links for me to put in the description of last night's live. All right, get it done. Get it done. Let's see. Diane said, my insulin level and HbA1c were elevated in my last blood test. I think I need to rethink the products I've been using. Yeah. Now, one thing I have to ask Diane is one thing that I've heard, and it's kind of a theory. I don't know how much has been tested, but they're saying that if you are more on the carnivore side of things, then your A1C may go up only because the fact that if you are living a more carnivore lifestyle, your red blood cells live longer. So that's definitely something to consider. But obviously, we should always be kind of taking stock of the things that we use because we know that they change ingredients on a whim and we may not even notice it because when a product we've been using for a while, it's easy to kind of let that fall through the cracks because it's just impossible to keep up on the ingredients of everything that we're taking in once we've already looked at it enough to decide we want to buy it. To then go back and look at it, I mean, it's just something to kind of look at every time because there was a company that just got bought out by somebody else. Let me see if I can find this here real quick. Let me go ahead and pull this away so you're not seeing me do all the search stuff here. Let me see if I can figure this out. Yeah, let's take a look at this as well here. So this is one of those articles. Now, I don't know this company, or this article, but PepsiCo to acquire tortilla chip maker Siete. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but they were a tortilla chip that is grain free and cooked with coconut oil or avocado oil. I can't remember which one. I don't even know if they put the information. They don't even put a picture of it in here. But PepsiCo bought it, and I've seen articles saying, a lot of companies are buying big companies are buying these smaller companies, and it's good for the economy. It's good for the community. And I basically on one of those things I was like, look, you can't discount people's distrust of these larger companies that are buying up these smaller companies, even if the smaller company once acquired, they don't change the ingredients or they don't change the perceived health of the product or the integrity of the product that you like. That doesn't mean they're not going to cut corners in ways you can't detect. Quality of the ingredients. Well, yeah, they can say they're still using avocado oil, but do we know if there's a percentage they allow to be cut with seed oils that's cheaper? They don't have to disclose. We don't know that. There's a lot of things at play here that we are not aware of that they don't have to disclose to us, to the general public. You would think that if we are putting something in our pie holes, they would have to disclose everything in that product. And there's another movement and a video that I want to look into making is the fact that there is a big distinction between products that are sold to us in the United States versus Canada, Europe, England, and all that. And I know that there's a lot of these products are things that we wouldn't consume in the first place. But just looking at, say, let me see if I can bring that up as well, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go ahead and see if I can find this here. Let's see if I can bring this up to where it's an article. Let's see if I can find a photo, maybe. So here's just a photo. Here's just a kind of a quick little photo of like the difference between Canadian and American Fruit Loops, the color difference, because in America they use like red 40 and things like that. And in Canada, they're using like, beet color or carrot or whatever, right? I don't know how washed out it looks to you. It looks a lot better on my screen up here, but the screen that where I'm calling this from looks a little different. But let's see. Yeah, so here's one that I wanted to show everybody if it'll show me here. Let's see if you can see this, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. So here's the difference. So I don't know how well you can see that. So the ingredients on the American side is whole grain, yellow corn flour, degerminated yellow corn flour, sugar, wheat flour, whole grain, oat flour, modified food starch, hydrogenated vegetable oil, coconut, soybean, and/or cottonseed, oat fiber, salt, soluble corn fiber, natural flavor, red 40, turmeric extract color, blue 1, yellow 6, annatto color extract, BHT for freshness, vitamins and minerals added. Then we get to what is in the Canadian version: sugar, whole grain corn flour, wheat flour, whole grain oat flour, corn bran, maltodextrin, oat hull fiber, hydrogenated coconut and vegetable oil, salt, color, which is fruit and vegetable juice concentrate. I don't know, anthocyanin, annatto, turmeric, natural flavor, vitamins and minerals added. So, I mean, neither one are good for you. But just look if they're making, and the American plants are making this Canadian boxes, sending it to Canada, but they're not using it and making it, sending it to us. And there's like other countries out there where they can't even put cartoons on the box. Now, whether or not that's a whole other story. Kids are going to see it. Kids are going to want it no matter what. But it is up to the parents on what we allow, right? Magical Matt is here, prepping for a hurricane that's coming. And yeah, and this is what Charlie makes a good point too. Is like they don't put out a press release announcing corners they've cut. No, they're going to put a press release out that they're buying it, and they're not making any changes. Now, is that good for the company they purchased? Yeah, the company they purchased has made money, and they're probably going to get, a cut into the profits as Pepsi sells more and more than they could ever, because they have more capital expenditure. They have access to more purchasing power to buy more bulk. They are able to get in more stores. They can get the cost down. They have more buying power. They are buying across not just that brand, but across all of their brands. So they have that negotiation power. So yes, it makes sense that a company like that would want to send. But like, just think about like, one of the things was like, that Primal Kitchen was purchased and they didn't change anything. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. I was a huge fan of the Primal Kitchen buffalo sauce. And they removed the coconut butter, the almond or the cashew butter, and replaced it with something else. And they replaced it with potato starch. The initial one didn't have any potato starch. It was a more keto friendly. Now, while the rebranded one is keto friendly still, it's not as clean. It's got potato starch. So, Evan said that's a big difference. Aldi has been moving towards all natural colorings in the foods that they make. I haven't noticed, really. I don't know. Andy's in the house. Hi, guys. Woke up late, but I'll catch up. All right. Welcome, Andy. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, Evelyn, I agree. I wouldn't eat either unless it's like, every once in a while I like a good bowl of cereal. I get it. But the colors are more enticing for kids. But are they really? Really? You think the kid's not going to eat it if it's a little dull? I don't know. I think that's an excuse by the companies. Well, the kids won't eat it. Yes, they will. If they don't, then make a better product. Andy says she can't wait for my hug. Yeah. And there's a Chris Bear thing. Chris has put up a comment here. Let's see if I can make it. Let's see if I can find it here and put it up on the screen. I don't know if you can read that, but this is a Chris Bear comment on my maltodextrin thing with Element. He goes, here's some insight into magnesium and potassium. Magnesium malate is something like 40% magnesium by weight, meaning 100 milligrams of magnesium malate will have 40 milligrams of actual magnesium. Potassium chloride is also 40%, if I remember correctly. And I told him, thank you. So, coffee. I like that stuff. Charger Ducky, you're the one. You make live streaming so much fun. Let's get dangerous with a duck. Let's see what's going on here. Andy said, my weekend has been turned upside down. I'm driving up to Michigan in a few hours to reunite with some cousins as we celebrate the life of a great man, my Uncle Jack. Well, know that we're with you. Hugs. All that stuff. Love, hugs, and all that things. Our thoughts, our prayers, all of those things are with you, dear, on your trip to Michigan. And we'll see you when you get to Louisville. Coffee is a very wonderful thing. I do enjoy it so. Let's get delicious with a duck. I imagine you could have a meetup in Miami and just cook a bunch of ducks and iguanas. And on my way, I'm stopping in and seeing Evelyn. Well, that is amazing. Sherry says, morning all, sitting here drinking my coffee with the Keto Brains. I still have not tried Keto Brains. I still have the little sample package I got from last year's Keto Palooza. Oh, Iguana Palooza, Miami. Woo! Can you make me a Cuban sandwich out of iguana meat? An iguanan Cuban. I like a Cuban sandwich. It's got ham, pulled pork, cheese, and pickles. I like pickles. So here's the thing I'm going to ask you guys. How many of you like olives? Okay. So on vacation last, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, brother-in-law had been in Madison, Wisconsin, and on his way back, Stopped at some little farmer's market, something, I don't know what it was. He stopped somewhere. Bought some garlic stuffed olives that were marinated in some like Italian seasoning. So I can't find any of that locally at the normal everyday grocery stores that I look through and peruse. So I got so I was at Aldi, I got a jar of garlic stuffed olives, and I used some of the Flavor God brand garlic Italian seasoning. Put some in there, shook it up, left it in the fridge for a couple of days. Now, the ones from Wisconsin were so good, like you could tell that they'd been like, in there for a while because like the garlic wasn't crunchy. Now, the ones that I got from Aldi, the garlic was crunchy. I prefer it to not be crunchy, but yeah, should I make a video about that? Do you think anyone would be interested in just the idea of doing that? Let me know. Of course, Rick thinks olives are disgusting. Cindy doesn't like olives for me and Brian. Well, that's rude. They put nasty things in pico de gallo. Do you know if keto products have longer shelf life than sad? It really just depends what it is. All right. So what's your name again, United Carnivore? I think is it Matt or Mike? I can't remember what you said your name was. I forget. I apologize. So he's asking how about maltodextrin and keto bricks? Do we know? So Michael, okay. Do we know if there are or is maltodextrin in keto brick? I'm not familiar. Let me look and see if I can find a search here. Let's see. Okay. So what it tells me, so it does show me here that here's what it says. Keto bricks contain maltodextrin as a carrier for essential oils in their flavoring powders. Maltodextrin is a carbohydrate powder that is used to stabilize essential oils so they can be maintained in a free-flowing powder. Maltodextrin is not recommended for keto diets because it behaves similar to sugar in the body. A teaspoon of maltodextrin contains 4 grams of carbohydrates, which is the same amount as sugar. If you're aiming for 25 grams net carbs per day, one serving of maltodextrin could account for more than 15% of your daily carb intake. Keto bricks are prepackaged gluten-free performance bars that are shelf-stable. They contain whey protein, plant protein. Each brick is about 82% fat, 12% protein, and 6% carbs. So I would imagine, as much as I use keto brick, which is not at all, I have some. I have about 6 or 7 keto bricks in the pantry. I have one milk and cookie or whatever it's called. And I have I think I have 4, maybe 4 of the chocolate ones, the Bell's brownie. So, So I don't know if that answers your question. I would say if it bothers you, then I don't know how much maltodextrin is in a keto brick, but you can look at the total carbohydrates. But usually maltodextrin is not listed under total carbohydrates. That's one of the things that drives me nuts about that. Brenda says, good morning. Oops, she's late. He said, olives are no bueno. You're no bueno. Let's see. Bonita says, I'm always up for new things. Do the olives. Okay. I just need to go buy another jar because I ate them already. Let's see. Last time I looked, it's on their website. Look at the ingredients. Yeah, I looked at it, and it's in their frequently asked questions and such too. So Cindy thinks everything is yucky. Let's see. Rick says, who needs a keto brick when you can dry meats yourself? Now, see, that's the thing, is not everybody has the aptitude to do this. Everybody could do this. Not everybody is going to do this. That's the thing, where even little amounts of maltodextrin and things like that, like in a product that is super convenient, I think there's a little bit of wiggle room there for most people, because people who don't have the aptitude to cook, they don't have the desire to cook, they don't have the appliances to cook, whatever the case is, people are always on the go and they just don't stop. So there are certain products, I think certain trade-offs, unfortunately, that people are willing to make because of their living circumstances or the way they choose to live. Evelyn says, I just got my coffee. Why so late? We're like 40, almost 50 minutes into the stream, and you're just now having coffee? I don't understand what's going on here. I don't understand. Why so long? Evelyn loves olives. Matt likes black olives. Yes, green olives. No way. I don't know. I don't understand what's happening. Rick says, who doesn't have time to cook? You don't need appliances. Not everybody's going to cook food on their engine block that falls from the tree. Okay, Rick? You are, and you have to remember, Rick, you are the exception, not the rule. Okay? Not everybody's okay trumping through the bayou to get their dinner every day. He says, why buy meat from the store when you could harvest your own? Here, neighbor. Evelyn says, I'm being a lazy bum. We didn't start the coffee until after you started the live. Ridiculous. John Guggenhan, he says he's getting ready to church. Have a great Sunday. My friend, thank you so very much for being here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being involved. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being a friend. Now travel down that road and back again and go to church and have a good time, okay? All right. You're welcome, okay? I know I'm the exception to everything. Yeah. But that's why we like you, Rick. All right, ladies and gentlemen. What else is going on? What's all else on your mind? Somebody asked me in my comments of that video to look up, to find out if there's maltodextrin in the G Fuel powders, which is like the gamer energy beverages. I mean, I don't even know if maltodextrin is the worst ingredient in those. I mean, I highly doubt it, to be honest with you. But that's something that I'll look up. And to see. I imagine that there is maltodextrin in Perfect Keto. I imagine there's maltodextrin in Liquid IV. My understanding is there is no longer maltodextrin in Redmond's Relight but I am not 100% sure about that. And I know obviously salty does not have maltodextrin. Smash the like button, please. Yeah. Am I planning a group meeting on Thursday? I am. I imagine after we get back from the Brazilian steakhouse, I will probably hang out in the lobby, the big huge like atrium that's between the towers. I'll hang out there. Plenty of places to hang out, places to chill, relax, and just have a good time. Have a drink if you want to. You know, we're adults. Sherry's asking, hey, in your KPL interviews, are you looking for success stories or stories from the struggle bus? I want whatever you have to share. We all struggle. We all have successes. We all have failures. And anything and everything we go through, we're not alone. Others are going through the same thing. So if it's something that you're going through, I want to talk about it because it's going to help others. Because one of the biggest things we can do is talk about our daily struggles, talk about our battles that we lose, still talk about our successes 100%. But people think that they're the only ones who aren't making it, the only ones who are having off days. And I want to make sure that people understand that that is 100% not the case. We're not alone. What's with silly gamers sitting on their rear in funny looking chairs playing their joysticks? If you're making good money, that's the deal. Or you're like my kid, my youngest, who that's his goal in life is to go to work, come home, and play video games. So, you know. Cindy, we love you. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you soon, dear, okay? Do you have the app? Do you have the app, Andy? Because that's how I don't even know where my card. That's probably in my wallet somewhere. But luckily, I don't even need the card anymore because I just bring up the app and I can even scan it at the gas station. So if you have your app and you can log into that, there's your card. Benita says, I like salty, but I want grapefruit flavor. What's the best way to achieve that? Maybe. Have you tried like grapefruit bubbly and mixing like the unflavored salty with a grapefruit bubbly and maybe a splash of like sucralose or stevia? That could be a way to do it. And you're not, and that way you're avoiding any kind of, maltodextrin or whatever. You don't have an app. Well, you might want to get the app. Very important. Iguana hunting beats for you. You're not a teenage boy anymore, Rick. Bonita, buy unflavored. Yeah, grapefruit essential oil, or even that. Like, I mean, you can buy grapefruit, whatever it is, grapefruit grapefruit bubbly, grapefruit LaCroix, whatever. There's all kinds of stuff. There's Kroger has a grapefruit version of their bubbly, 0-calorie, zero sweetener beverages, you know. Susan wants to come with me, so we'll use hers. All right. I wish I was going to Costco. I had to go to Costco later today anyway. I had to go to Costco. Costco, my favorite place. It's what it is. But yeah, That's what I would do. I don't know. You may even be able to find a grapefruit like flavor enhancer as well, and then use unflavored salty. Let me see what I can find on the interwebs. Let's see. Oh. Here we go. Here we go again. Here is an option. All right, here's an option. Now, this is grapefruit, true grapefruit, crystallized grapefruit. You get 32 packets, and I want to say this is $5. So $5.73. And basically, you're getting maybe 32 beverages out of it, right? Or you can maybe use 2 packets, whatever you want to do, right? So I think these are less than 1 carb each. Yeah, so these are sub 1 carb. Ingredients are crystallized grapefruit, citric acid, grapefruit oil, grapefruit juice, non-GMO. So no hidden flavors, no natural flavors, and we go through so much of this. I'll put a link here I'll put a link for this in the chat. Now this will be my Amazon affiliate link, just so you're aware, ladies and gentlemen. So full disclosure. All right. Woo! All right. So Rick says, explain why people want fruity flavors. Because people aren't like you, Rick. If I wanted to be fruity, I would have gotten a boyfriend. Well, that's something up to you. Your choices are your choices, and I'm not going to discuss those here. But the fruit thing is one of those things that people need. People like flavor. People have been eating fruit for millennia. People come across berry trees, fruit trees, and they would eat them when they would. It's just human nature. Not everybody eats iguana and duck just like you. I'm glad that you are you. I'm glad that you are in our group, but not a lot of people are like you. A lot of people like fruity stuff, like fruity, magically delicious. All righty. Time to start my chores. Have a good one, Heath. I'll try and stop by a little later when you lie, buddy. Wow, let's see. Why are we surprised when things that are sweet have bad stuff in them? Well, I don't necessarily think that sweet things are inherently bad. I just think that companies are prone to utilizing cheap, crappy ingredients to save a buck because we let them, because we will buy it, because we don't pay attention. So I think, when we can find something that's clean, then it's something to celebrate. And hopefully with some of the things that are going on, so I know that people like RFK Jr. and Jordan Peterson and such, and probably going to cause my channel to get demonetized here, talking about just bringing up these names. So if you want to support the channel, become a member, use my links, buy stuff from me, because I have a lot of issues with this Sunday Live becoming demonetized. So keep that in mind. It usually takes them about 3 days to fix it. And then by then, that's the shelf life of a live is about 3 days. So then people have already finished watching it, so that I'm not really getting anything out of it. But outside of the wonderful joy that I have spending time with you guys. But, you know, bills have to be paid. But these people working on, on the administration that they're working for, while I appreciate it, I worry that just because they're trying to do what they're doing with nutrition and ingredients and health and all these things, they're going to fall on deaf ears of just because of the administration that they're working for. Because people will just take things, people won't take things seriously. So if a side that you're not a party of, or you're a part of the side that you're not on, or whatever, says something that's inherently true, you're more likely to not think it true because you don't agree with the bulk of what they do. And that's for both sides. And not to get political here, but that's one thing, because one of the political parties is working with people to try to tackle some of the concerns that our community has been dealing with. I worry that just because they are who they are and they are on the party that they're on, that people will be less likely to take them seriously. So hopefully we will start to see a change in the future, but it's going to be a long, drawn out battle. Again, we have to use our wallets. They're going to be far more effective than signs and our voices. So, yeah. Let's see. I grow so many fruits, but the taste is a turnoff. So that's you. You just don't like fruits and stuff. That's on you. Like, I don't eat a lot of sweet fruit things. I don't. That doesn't mean every once in a while I don't enjoy a couple of grapes or whatever. I'm a human being. Well, yeah, I mean, you're more, you're just not like, I like mango is delicious. Um, Good morning, Scott. I truly appreciate you being here. How was your ruck with the pups? If it's not in nature, it has to be manipulated. Well, I mean, even nature's manipulated. Think about things that have happened over time, like 200 years ago, bananas that we have now didn't exist. They have selective breeding with bananas and apples and grapes and watermelons and all the fruits and things, all the selective breeding we have. That is one of those things that's been happening. So nature is always manipulated. Even with cows, we do selective breeding with cows, and now dogs. We don't eat dogs, but we've selectively bred dogs and horses and cattle and everything just because of the fact that we want to get things we want to get out of them to suit our purposes. I'm taking a minute here. Sherry Rogan, thank you so very much. Thank you so very much for the $9.99 super chat. I truly appreciate you. It means the world of difference to us. It really, really does. Thank you for the thoughts and advice. That's what we're here for. I truly appreciate you. Thank you so very much. And Evelyn's asking if just wondering, instead of Duck Duck Goose, if Rick plays Duck Duck Iguana. Probably by himself. We are getting a lot of rain, so I might take the time to fix my homemade crossbow. Interesting. The only thing worse than a mango is I like avocado too. As a chef, I would add a bunch of mango to my iguana. Then they would both be better. We use the real lime. We buy the 500 box. And it's about time for us to order another one. Actually, I need to check that. I need to check and see when that next thing is coming here. For some reason, this is harder to navigate than the app. I appreciate you while I look this up here, trying to see some information. I'll go check that stuff out later. Let's see. Danny says, they're eating dogs, they're eating cats. I don't believe that. I mean, chances are you've more likely had dog, or you've probably had cat at Chinese food restaurants more than you've had than anything else. I just don't believe it. That's a widespread thing. Has it happened? Probably. Is it widespread? Probably not. You kind of have to take this side says yes, this side says no. It's probably somewhere in the middle with maybe. Iguana tastes best heart attack style. Just deep fried in lard, huh? Michael says, so far, old guy carnivore, Dr. Nelson Vasquez, Dr. Kilt's pending schedule, and carnivore teacher. All right. Yeah, that's right. Don't forget that Michael, United Carnivore in the Tampa area, is having a meetup. I can't remember where it's going to be, but he will put it in the chat and remind everybody in there. So, yeah. See, Rick loves sour oranges for marinating duck. See, look, you do like a fruit, weirdo. Carl said, Rick is such a troll, but he's our troll. We've got to have someone living under the bridge to watch out for us, right? He lives under the bridge down by the river in a van. Do you have any riddles, Rick? Dr. Kiltz is a weird person to me. I don't know how to elaborate that. I don't know. Dr. Kiltz, I don't know. I've watched his stuff a little bit, but I just can't. I don't know. Chinese restaurant here was shut down for serving canal duck. Why? Okay, scroll up for the meetup reminder. Did I miss it? It's easy to miss things sometimes. Oh, where is that? I don't see it. I'm not seeing it in here. Was it before you asked about Keto Brick? Because I went all the way back to that and didn't see it. Anyway. He bumps his head on the bridge, right? He is pretty tall. All right, meetup reminder. Let's see. Melbourne, Florida, October 25th. Estampa Gaucha, 11:30 in Melbourne Square Mall. All are welcome. Just show up if you're able, and let me know via YouTube. All right. I am the tallest carnivore on YouTube. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty weird stuff. Pretty weird, pretty wild. Why do I have here I go again. What's my weakness? And Rick's like, ducks. I'm a weird random guy. What can I say? Yeah, so my True Lime won't be here again until December 14th. unless I need to order it sooner, which we're running low. So, we'll have to figure it out. Let's see. Andy says they are weird. They're all weird. I read up on Dr. Bear and read it, and now I can't unsee it. Sometimes we cannot have lying, cheating, and stealing. It's all politics, and it sucks. We want to live our best life. Yeah. I'm not sure. So is this something you read about, Dr. Barry? I don't know what's going on here. Maybe you want to elaborate a little bit. There is only one Rick, the duck and the iguana-eating carnivore, hates everything sweet and lives like it's the 1960s. You sound like you live like it's you act like it's the 1530s. Shelly King, happy Sunday morning. I'm late. I slept in this morning. It's only 5:40 a.m. here in Oregon, though. Well, welcome anyway. Welcome. So glad you're here. Truly appreciate you. Yes. Last year, we were talking about Duck Duck Goose. There was a game of Duck Duck Goose last year at KPL that I missed. Like Chris Bear and Noah and James and Emily and a bunch of people were playing Duck Duck Goose at KPL last year. I totally missed it, but I was trying to record different things. Trying to get I was trying to put together kind of like an overview of what KPL is like, so those who want to go will know kind of what to expect. Goose is tasty. It just reminds me of a Christmas carol. I brought a Christmas goose. You slept in and you're still up at 5:40. It's all good. That's like I slept in and it's like the other day we took a nap and overslept and got up at 8 a.m. And it was like we overslept and got up before I ever would have dreamed about getting up before back in my day. When I wore younger man's clothes. You know what I mean? Da, 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 da. So we went to bed last night. I got home. We got home. I got home after being at the hospital, made Chandra's lunch and got everything ready to go. And finally got to bed. And then I think we were in bed by 11, I think. 10, 11, I don't know. Maybe it was 10. But I woke up at 1 a.m. thinking it was 6, time to get up. And I was like, oh, it's only 1 a.m. All right, he lost his license. That's why he's a farmer and internet influencer now. The burning of his office and house within 7 months is definitely suspicious. Yeah, I don't know. This is a weird thing because I knew his office burnt down. I knew his house burnt down. I figured it was just one of those things that was just easier to do what he does online than it is to have a practice. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I mean, it seems like that's being involved in the person who burnt the house down is a person of interest, and they prosecution and all that stuff, but I don't know. Sean says, reminds me of Christmas Story. It's smiling at us. What? People call a goose a cobra chicken. I call them annoying because they don't get out because they know that they're protected. I just think they just know that we're not going to hurt them. So they just take their time moseying across the street. I'm usually up at 3:30 during the week, so it really felt like sleeping in. I went to sleep at 7 p.m. Oh, yeah, well, See, I wasn't aware that he lost his license. I knew that Sean Baker had initially lost his license to practice because he's an orthopedic surgeon, but he worked and got his license back. So I don't know. That's something that I'm not quite sure on. Rick says a goose in my yard is not protected. Now, what about what about the ones that are marked? And you got to be careful of those because there's some that are tagged, right? You can't eat those. What are you gonna do with the tag? Throw it away? I don't know. Geese are like cobra. My dad's friend had a couple in his yard. They chased me when I was a kid. Alto is here. Good morning. Tag? What tag? Naomi Jones is in the house. Good morning, Naomi. Thank you so much, dear, for being here. I appreciate you. All right. So Sean's saying Dr. Barry told most of that story in his community. So I'd be curious to hear his side of it and then kind of see what other people say about it as well. But then again, you got to remember that a lot of people will say things just because he is very successful. He's probably making more money doing what he's doing now than he did ever with his practice. I can almost guarantee it. And the liability is a lot less doing what he's doing now, I imagine. Probably doesn't have all the liability insurance that he'd have in having a practice. He's probably making, I don't know. You know what I mean? So I like them both. I know the facts for people who've told their stories on carnivore effectiveness. I just don't know. Yeah. I will just attach the tag to an iguana. With geese, I'm pretty sure it's tag, you're it. I was chased by roosters when I was a kid. My buddy, so I have a friend, we've been friends forever, and his dad at one point in time owned a giant turkey farm with these two outbuildings, and they were full of turkeys. They were like a holding from when turkeys were small to they were a certain size. I don't know what company owned them for or whatever. Then they would come and pick them up. They would drop them off as like a holding spot for all these turkeys, and then they'd get picked up and then go somewhere else till they were ready to be slaughtered or whatever, right? And he was like, and my buddy was like, he was terrified of these turkeys as a kid. Rick says, I hunt roosters at the President's Day parking lot. What? How do you hunt a rooster? Aren't they just out walking around like, I'm a rooster, I'm a rooster, I'm a rooster? And you're like, huh? I don't know. You know. How often are you on the news, Rick? Rick, are you Florida man? Dr. Barry says he lost his license because of him recommending keto and carnivore to people instead of prescribing prescriptions to patients. If you have a private practice, though, how does that work? Because I've had a doctor tell me that if I wanted to lose weight, I had to be in ketosis. He didn't necessarily elaborate. I had to go down my own rabbit hole. I'm here now. I mean, because of that rabbit hole, I found two keto dudes and all that stuff, and here I am. You know, I know that it's going to be a long time before, it's the recommended method or whatever with doctors, if ever. But, born and raised in Florida, the news is afraid of me, though. That's what I'm thinking. I think you are Florida man. Whenever they say a Florida man, they're talking about Rick. So whenever you hear a story about Florida man, it's about Rick. Let's see. Alto says, my dad's homestead when he was a kid raised turkeys, but he wasn't allowed to eat when he accidentally killed his grandmother's prized 40-pound turkey by lassoing it roping the horse. Oops. For real. If you watch my videos, you can see the wild chickens here. So I can see this, Evelyn. He's going to use a crossbow and be like, today a Florida man was caught lassoing iguana, chickens, geese, and ducks at the Piggly Wiggly. Yes. Florida man. All right. There's a thing they say that you can do if you Google your birthday and Florida man. So, June 25th, Florida man blasts his car music, jumps on patrol car, and dances to ward off vampires. Zach, you Rick. Oh. My dad was a Montana man. I want to go to Montana so bad. It was mainly Dr. Barry's outspokenness that got him in trouble. That's kind of what happened with Dr. Baker. He lost his license for being outspoken or whatever, and not doing surgeries and having people like same thing happened to Gary Fettke. I think it was Gary Fettke, or who was it? The Tasmanian orthopedic surgeon. Yeah, Gary Fettke. So I was right. Gary Fettke is an orthopedic surgeon practicing in Tasmania, Australia. He is a major interest in preventive medicine and encourages his patients to lose weight before undergoing surgery. So he was basically telling people what to do so he wouldn't have to have surgery, and they tried to make him lose his license. Yeah. Evelyn says, my daddy was from Arkansas. Let's see. Florida man is being drowned by a leaky roof as a hurricane approaches. I don't know. Do you have ways to secure your van to the ground while the hurricane comes? I don't want you blown away. Don't forget, don't just tie your iguanas by their tail, because those tails come off, don't they? You got to tie them by like their bodies, right? Or do you have a little cage for your iguanas so they don't blow away? Don't let them blow away. Also says, I found a doctor locally that suggests carnivore for me. Was stalled on keto, but she has a private no insurance practice. Yeah. Going against the norm will get you in trouble every time, but that's why we need to support these doctors. They rebelled so we can get healthy. Yeah, I agree. And I think he is one of the ones that has been highly successful at doing what he does. He makes we looked it up, like with his Mighty Networks or whatever it's called now. He's probably making $75,000 a month. He's doing okay. But again, too, he and his wife are also sponsored by Element, and I didn't hear them saying anything about the maltodextrin. And like I said, I don't know if they are even familiar with it. But I did tag him in one of my Twitter things, but he gets tagged in so much he probably didn't see it. But it's something that I might ask him about at KPL if I have an opportunity. The van needs to be loose so that it can float. I don't understand. Stacy's here. Better late than never. Dear, I love it when you show up. I love it when you're here. I can't wait to see you at KPL, my dear. You and my boy Ken, if I can even talk, get the words out of my mouth. So I tried a new Liquid Death flavor. And I loved it. I bought one can just to try. And I'll show you a photo of it if I can. Again, it's washed out. It's hard to see on your side of things. But it's called Squeezed to Death. And I love it. All right, Alto. We'll probably be here when you get back. I'll probably be here for at least another 30 minutes, maybe another hour and 30, depending on the way the chat goes. So we'll be here. So Squeezed to Death is probably one of the better flavors of Liquid Death that I've tried, and I like other ones. The downside to Liquid Death, unfortunately for me, is they don't use an artificial or natural sweetener. They don't use sucralose or stevia. They use agave syrup or whatever. So there's 4 grams of carbohydrates total in a 20-ounce container of this stuff. So it wouldn't be something that I drink all the time. But this one's like an orange tangerine flavor, and it's so good. Oh, it's so good. I need to find it at the stores. I need to find it. I want to be sponsored by Liquid Death, but I would hopefully if they would do that, then it would be one of those things that they have hopefully changed their formula. Oh, so Alto says, yeah, a houseboat conversion option. Yeah. Go the Miami Vice route. I need to build myself the poor man's Sherp ATV. Sean says, I knew I should have brought the makings for another cup of coffee here to work. This is pretty rough. Waiting for the phone to ring. So what do you do, buddy? If you don't mind telling us. Dustin at Plays here. Good morning, my friend. How are you doing? Evelyn says you're going to show us a photo of the can. If you can you can. How many cans could a Kenner can of Kenner could cans? How many cans could a Kenner can of Kenner could cans? How many cans could a Kenner can of Kenner could cans? I don't know. How about you? Do you know? I don't. Morning. If they did allulose, I think about it, but hell no, the agave. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like it's good. It's good. I wish they would do allulose. Well, allulose they'd probably do like a lot more than 4 milligrams or 4 grams though, because allulose is less sweet than anything else. So I would think maybe sucralose. I think that would be probably what I would rather see. Scott says 39 degrees this morning. Headed off on my morning ruck. If I'm not done before you're off, have a great Sunday. Well, sir, thank you so much. Enjoy that ruck with those puppers. And I think you'll be listening to us maybe along the way, yeah? Everyone says 42 cans. If a canner could can cans, how many cans could a canner can if a canner could can cans? Allegedly, 42. It's the answer to all things. I have an engineering coverage for the weekend. Basically, I have to change work instructions and evaluate reject conditions to see if I can sign them off. I'm a tooling engineer as my main job. Very interesting. It sounds complicated. My beard is itchy this morning. I do need to shower today. I use a tea tree oil shampoo in my beard till it gets down into the skin and kind of makes it, you know what I'm saying? Alto says, I run back to say hey to the other engineer. Well, that's amazing. So what else is everybody going on? Anybody try anything new this week? Anything delicious? Anything sound good? Anything going on? Basically, I get paid to doodle on a computer all day. Sounds fun. I was at Costco, and I had a good time because when I was at Costco buying steaks this week, I noticed that they had mismarked some steaks. They had mismarked ribeyes as New York strip. So I took advantage and bought 3 packages. And so we've got steaks. Pretty awesome. So basically about two something dollars a pound at Costco. So say, not a huge amount, but enough. You know, it's nice to know that you're saving a little bit of cash. And they probably won't even notice the difference. I think today I'm also going to make some garlic confit. I always have aspirations in the morning to do all these things and film these videos, and then I'm like, "Ugh." Let's see. Alto says, just watch Chris chicken thigh pesto sauce live on the other day, thinking about giving those a go. And also headed to Costco this morning. Leave this running for the playtime later. All. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. Evelyn says, I'm a paper engineer. It doesn't pay well, but I make origami and pop-up cards. Origami. Windows open to sleep. There is no heat on here yet. I'm a true Alaskan. But we don't have heat on here either. But I don't like the windows open because I don't want to hear the outside noises. If I could live in the country and there were no like outside noises, like irritating, like birds chirping and stuff. Oh God, it's so annoying. So annoying. Yeah, I do wish that Liquid Death would put out a sugar-free or agave-free version. I would totally be into that. I am going to ask a request of you guys. So, Sahil has done something. I'm going to share two different channels with you guys today. So I'm going to show something here. So my friend Sahil, he has a channel called Headbangers Kitchen. Well, the initial Headbangers Kitchen got him over 680,000 subscribers. He has 400 plus keto low carb recipes on this channel. I'm going to share that channel with you now. He has changed the name of that channel to HK's keto and low carb recipes. Okay, so he's changed the name, and basically that channel is just going to be left as it is. So he's no longer going to be adding to that channel as far as I'm aware. At least as far as what he's saying now. He's gone ahead and changed. He's got another Headbangers Kitchen. And this one, he's only got 834 subscribers. So let's see if we can get him up to 1,000 on this one. Because this is where he's going to be putting new recipes and such. I imagine some will probably be low carb keto just because of the way he eats. He's not necessarily keto anymore, but he still understands how to eat. But there'll probably be some rice recipes. So if that triggers you or whatever, and you're not really interested, but I think this is just really for support for someone that is a true inspiration to me and why I do what I do. I'll put that in the comments here as well. Yeah, so Dustin says that his daughter has been cutting out cards and trying her hand and making cards. That's awesome. Yeah, Evelyn says she loves Headbanger's Kitchen. Matt says he's a 3D engineer by making things with his 3D printer. Let's see. Why hasn't allulose been swapped by all the big food companies so that they can put crazy claims on their packages? A lot. So some countries haven't even allowed it in the country yet. Like Australia, you can't really get allulose because it isn't generally regarded as safe yet, even though it should be safer as far as we are aware. It should be safer than other leading things, but it's new and it takes more. I think really that's the big thing is it takes more because it's less sweet stuff. We were dealing with sucralose takes such a tiny, tiny amount to sweeten something. Like when you buy these flavor enhancers, you squirt a big squirt. That's like 99% water. It's just so you can see there's something going into your cup. Because if you're just putting like a half a drop or a drop in your cup, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. That's like with a Splenda packet, 99% of it is maltodextrin and dextrose. Less than 1% is the actual sucralose. Let's see, Evelyn, we have paper engineers that get paid fairly well to write reports and write operating procedures and work routings. All they do is just put paper or push paper. So he's not going away. He's just doing new stuff. Yeah. So he just felt that the original Headbangers Kitchen was a dead channel. I don't necessarily think that was the truth. He looked at it as the algorithm wasn't putting it where it needed to go. And that can be sort of the case if you're putting out content and the algorithm doesn't know who to show it to. Yes. But I think if you're putting out compelling content, the algorithm will pick it up. So the algorithm is you can swap again with the word audience. I don't know. I just think that he's tried different kinds of content and there was just a lot of things. I don't think there was enough consistency in what he was doing towards the end. I think he got burnout, was just unhappy with everything, and that goes a long way. And that can kind of show through your content as well. Let's see. It would be great if they learned origami. I could imagine the look on our customers' faces if they received a 1,000-page report and all the pages folded into freaking swans. Yes. Yeah, I have his cookbook too. His amazing food photography. His videos were always wonderfully shot. He's been super nice and helpful to me when we go live. He tells people to subscribe to me. It's just, he's always been a great person. Hopefully one day I'll get a chance to meet him. I know he lives on the other side of the planet, which is so crazy to me that I've been able to make friends in other parts of the world. I wish him luck. I'm going to continue being a supporter of his, obviously sharing his channels and such. Hopefully people will go and subscribe. Truly, he's an impressive person. His music is great. All that fun stuff. Yes. All right. Evelyn says, I subbed to his new channel. All right. That's the best. Yeah, so he's hasn't been keto for about 4 or 5 years. He still continued to make keto content because that was what really drove his channel. Realistically, I think it's because he just felt unfulfilled eating a keto lifestyle, living where he does. I want to say he lives in Bombay. I mean, the primary food source, I think there, it's a lot of rice and, vegetables and all that stuff. And I think he just felt unfulfilled. He was a person that didn't want to give up all of his food. He did keto for a long time, lost weight and all that. And I think he's just kind of moved into more of a low calorie moderation type thing. And sometimes people can sustain that. And sometimes that just makes them feel better. That's the goal, right? To find out what you can find for yourself that's sustainable. Keto, I hate to say it, but keto is only sustainable for those who want it to be sustainable. A lot of people will join into keto. Even me in the beginning, I was like, yeah, I'll be keto until I'm not. Until I hit my goal weight, and then I can do what I want. I had plans that every time I hit a goal, like a goal milestone or a weight milestone, I was going to go eat this or go eat that or whatever. And then as I went along, I realized, I had control over my food behaviors and such. And there's a lot of reasons why I'm still keto. I allow myself certain things, and obviously over time, we do indulge ourselves a little bit more, probably more than we should. And that's something that I'm very open and transparent about, because it is kind of a journey to understanding yourself, a journey to find out what works, what doesn't. And what worked yesterday may not work tomorrow. And I think for him, currently, keto is just not sustainable because he doesn't want it to be. It's not what he's looking for. For people who really do stick to a specific diet, that means their mindset has changed to the point they found something in a lifestyle switch that is compelling enough to make them stick to it. Like for me, the mental clarity, the food control, these are all things that make keto something that I can't go away from. Sure, I can have off meals, go on vacation, eat what I want sometimes. Shouldn't, but I'm probably going to. Unfortunately, even I don't have 100% self-control. That's where consistency is huge, and consistency is paramount and key in all these things, So I think that's where he's at. Let's see. I just subbed to his channel. Love his. Yeah, he's got everything he's got going on. I don't doubt that he's not going to be successful. I'd imagine within a year or two, he'll probably have a play button for the new channel. If he keeps consistent, if he is able to make the content that he was making on the other channel, he'll have no problems. He just has to find a rhythm and find something that he's passionate about that clicks with other people. That's really the whole thing about an algorithm. The YouTube algorithm, YouTube wants people to stay on YouTube. YouTube wants you watching only YouTube. And they do a very good job because YouTube has more viewership than terrestrial TV, than Netflix, than Hulu. More people watch YouTube than they watch anything else. So YouTube is very successful at showing you what you want to see. Think about what comes up in your newsfeed. And like when people say things like, well, it's not showing me X, Y, or Z in my newsfeed anymore, there's a reason for that. It's showing you what you click on, what you're more likely to click on. If it showed you X's content and you clicked on every video, then it would continue to show them that stuff. So if it shows you a handful of their videos and you didn't click on them, maybe because there was a week where they put out stuff or 2 weeks where they put out stuff that you weren't interested in. So then the likelihood of them showing it to you the next time it was more slim. So every time you're looking at your homepage or you're looking at your recommendations and it's showing you things and you don't click on them, it's going to change showing you what you want. It's going to show you more in line with what you do click on. Algorithm, you just replace with audience. It's difficult because I still want to make stuff that I want to make, but I still have to make things that I want to make that I know people are going to click on. And I have to do it in a way that is in line with my own values. There's a couple of ways where I could have gone with the element video that I put out the other day that was more sensationalized and probably could have got me even more views. I'm coming up on 2,000 views, but there I probably could have done it and made everything to where I got 200,000 views. But I don't know if I would have been satisfied with that as a person. I want to give the honest truth. I want to give you the information, try to be as unbiased as I can while still give my opinion, but also say, hey, take this information and do with it what makes sense for you. My opinion is I'm probably not going to use the product anymore. But that shouldn't be your deciding factor. Me not using it shouldn't be your only reason for not doing it anymore. If I came out and said, well, I'm honest, I probably will not purchase Element anymore, but I have a good amount that I still have that I will still use because some of the flavors I really like. Is it optimal? No. But I don't think it's the end of the world either. It's more maltodextrin than I would like, but it's still less than a gram. It's most likely half a gram or less in most cases. So at the end of the day, that's not substantial enough for me to just throw it away. I won't necessarily buy it, but I won't throw away what I already have. Does that make sense? I can't necessarily openly recommend it. I can't necessarily say, hey, use this product. So that kind of screws me in a way because, I had aspirations at one point in time to be sponsored by Element. And I've been open about this. Element, from my understanding, once you reach a threshold of subscribers and views and engagement, they will work with the content creators and pay them a decent amount of money for 45-second ads. And when you see different creators who are sponsored by Element, where they do those in this video is sponsored by Element. And, it's a scientifically backed blah, 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 blah. You've seen it. You know the spiel. You've seen it enough. They're making somewhere between $400 and $1,200, maybe more, depending on the content creator, to do that ad. In most cases, that's more money than they're going to see from that video alone. So that's where sponsored content comes in. Now, as a creator, I have to go, okay, is this money worth me telling you that you should buy it? Because the ad and the contract of any sponsorship that I take is going to have me reading it in a way that says, I use it, you should buy it. Now, if it's a product that I don't agree with, no amount of money is going to have me do that. I mean, there's probably an amount of money that would have me do that. I mean, there is. I mean, let's be real here. But it's not a realistic amount that they're going to pay me. It's not a realistic amount that they're going to offer me. So if you ever see me promoting something and you're like, that doesn't seem like he'd promote it, they've crossed that threshold of money for me. We're talking 9 figures, 6 figure, or probably 7 figures. If they offer me $1 million, hey, buy this product. Just know you don't have to. I'm just saying. But anyway, I mean, that's just unrealistic. That kind of money is unrealistic for my channel. Forever. Me getting a sponsorship. I've had a sponsorship with a company, but so far where I did a sponsored video, and it was the most I've ever made. And hopefully I get to work with it. I'm not going to disclose who it was, how much it was, but it was a substantial amount for me. But it was one time, and but it is a company that I support, and most of you support. So I felt totally fine doing it. And I'll be transparent as much as I'm contractually allowed to when it comes to sponsorships. So, let's see. It's hard as his wife went to Costco and picked up the candy bag. Oh yeah. Well, that's what we do. So as time for Halloween rolls around and we're going to pass out candy, I'll go to Costco, pick up a couple bags of candy to pass out, and I keep it in the garage, provided it's not still like 80 degrees, because I don't want a bunch of melted candy. Otherwise, I might put it in the hall closet or something like that, so it's out of sight, out of mind. Because I know when I'm passing out candy, it's very easy to go. I mean, it's so easy to do. Yeah, it's a hard month for all of us, really. Once you become healthier and more metabolically flexible, it's okay to go whole foods and add things back in. I won't because of the pain and inflammation it causes me. Yeah, 100%. Everybody has a price. You're right. I'm not cheap, but I still have bills to pay. You know what I mean? I think that's the dichotomy of being a content creator who is in a niche where my community is more important to me than the product is. Because there isn't a product I think that I support or I'm an affiliate with that's 100% necessary. And that's the truth. Now, there's products that every product I support, I use, and I think they're perfectly fine and acceptable to use, and they do their best to be a part of the community. And I think that they make our lives easier for sure. But I don't think I would ever be in a situation where I'm going to knowingly try to sell you guys something that I don't think, not that you don't need. Because I could, with good conscience, try to sell you something that you don't need, but I wouldn't sell you something that's not good for you if you did try it in the front, because, I mean, there's products out there that are perfectly fine and acceptable. You just don't need them. You may want them. There's things that I want all the time. I want shoes. I mean, yeah, we need shoes. I don't need lots of shoes. I don't need multiple pair of shoes, but I love shoes. So this week, we went to Build-A-Bear. So Wednesday, the girl gets out of school early, so we pick her up and we take her to Build-A-Bear. Because they have the Bluey Build-A-Bears. So we get there and they had one Bluey left. No bingos, just one Bluey. So we built Bluey and we built like 3 others too. I think we got Bluey. We got a unicorn with roller skates and wings. We got like a Halloween cat, and we got a glow in the dark. We've got a bunch of them already. Axolotl. We've got a whole bunch of axolotls in this house. We got teeny tiny ones. We got gigantic ones. Ones that weigh like 10, 15 pounds. So we got a glow in the dark axolotl. So we did that. We were there for a few hours building this, and we went to dinner, had a good time. The next day I had to go back because there was a truck coming in and they were getting bingos and they were getting the granny costumes. And if you know anything about us, the grannies are so amazing. So Bluey and Bingo are 2 little kids. They're dogs, girls, some Australian cartoon, and they dress up as these grannies. They're Janet and Rita, and they're amazing. If you haven't watched the cartoon, watch the Grannies episode. They're my favorite. Then there's the Granny Mobile, which is the pinnacle of the Grannies, because Muffin joins in, and it's amazing. But anyway, so when I went back, I did get Bingo. As a grown 45-year-old man, I'm in Build-A-Bear by myself, stuffing a Bingo, foot on the pedal, doing the heart ceremony because I had to, because if I didn't, I would know. You gotta kiss the heart, you gotta hug the heart, you gotta give it a good, give it good thoughts, and you put it inside the bear or whatever it is you're buying. And then I went and I was looking in Hot Topic, and then I went into Journeys. Journeys, I love Journeys. They've got a great selection right now of Adidas shoes. Adidas shoes are my favorite. All black Adidas shoes are hard to find. But I mean, shoes are so expensive. They're like $120 a pair now. And I'm like, when did Adidas become $120 a pair? Crazy. But anyway, Evelyn says, having a daughter with food allergies, I've always had 2 bowls for trick or treaters and one food item for like little toys. Well, that's always nice. Andy says, home from my walk, now to get my coffee and pack. Coffee. All right. Apex Odyssey. Hello, Apex Odyssey. How are you doing? Good morning, carnivores. Good morning. Danny says, I got a second job, political canvassing. We were registering people to vote. They are changing campaigns, and I have a feeling I'm going to have to quit if they are going to support something I don't. Well, that's totally up to you. We need a video of me and Build-A-Bear. Well, next year when we go back, I will totally get video of me and Build-A-Bear. I'm sure I have a photo somewhere of me with the Build-A-Bear. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Well, maybe it'll take me a long time to find, so I'm not worried about it. All right. So, yeah. Is there anything that you want me to try to video at KPL? Let me know. I know I'm going to try if they do the testimonials again, I'll try to record all of those. I do have 2 microphones, so I can hand over. I can see if people will help me put mics on everybody because I mean they're already using a microphone. If I put a mic on that I can hear as I'm recording them, and we can get a good audio. Because last year that was very difficult to get. So yeah. I did also go to a show on Friday night. I went to see the Black Dahlia Murder. My first time seeing them with Brian on vocals my first time seeing them with Brian on vocals. First time seeing them since the last time I saw them in Fort Wayne, Indiana, on the last tour that they did with Trevor. Trevor's no longer with us. He's been gone about 2 years. So yeah, it was a very interesting experience seeing that band without Trevor. But and then there was a couple of opening bands, and then downstairs, Sloppy Seconds was playing, and some friends of mine were down there. So they weren't checking tickets, so we just walked downstairs. I walked downstairs and watched a little bit of Sloppy Seconds and said hello to friends, and then came home. Got home about midnight. It was pretty good. Pretty good fun. Good fun show. Pretty good show. The new album that Black Dahlia dropped is really good. I thought that they did very well. I think their new material really is fabulous live, and I think it's a step in the right direction for the band without Trevor. So I don't know, for any of those who were interested or care at all. So So talking about Adidas being expensive, my friend texts me and goes, "Oh, my shoes are so much more expensive. I wear Prada now." You ever just want to push your friend in the mud for dumb stuff like buying Prada shoes? I do. So what else is up, everybody? What's happening? Well, I guess with that, I will say thank you to everyone that's a member. that supports this channel. Thank you so much to Sherry for the $9.99 super chat. I truly appreciate it. Charlie is back. He said, just got back from the gym. How was pickleball? Is it pickleball yoga or what is it now? I don't know what you're doing. You're doing something. Let's see. What I want to know is that I was buying Vans in high school and really haven't gone up in price all that much, 60 to 80-ish. I remember Vans. I thought Vans were like $30 when I was in high school. I was in high school in the mid to late 90s. My freshman year was like 94, 95. Well, inflation, cost of living, cost of processing, cost of everything goes up. I don't know. Everyone is on our way to church. Thank you so much. See you Thursday or Friday. We will be live Tuesday evening with our Tuesday live. See you Thursday. Strong Nation. It's an offshoot of Zumba. And I was the only one in class this morning, but it went well. Well, that's pretty fun. Well, I think it cost more back then because you didn't have any money. Where $25, $35, $40 back then was harder to come by than $80 now. I'm 45 years old. That's old for me. It's the oldest I've ever been, okay? So, my lady, Annie says, you're such a baby. I'll be 54 on February. Well, you're still young, dear. I feel young still. I feel like me going into a Build-A-Bear by myself as a grown man is the weird part. Of course, I always feel weird being by myself anywhere in public and, anymore, but that's a whole other story. Anyway, thank you all so very much for being members. Thank you for your support, your constant affection and being here and hanging out with me, drinking coffee with me. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. I love your faces, and I'll see you guys Tuesday with Chandra. Bye.